There are still some problems that our team can face during the norming stage. Problems like admitting when we are wrong to the rest of the team, or problems valuing our teammates and what it is that they are trying to do. We can also have problems of growing relaxed and becoming reluctant to strive for more, which can cause us to lose track of the situation we are in and the people who support us. Admitting that we are in error is something that since birth we humans haven't been good at doing. Sometimes it is because we worry that if we admit our mistakes, it will lower our standings with our peers, and sometimes it is our personal pride or ego that doesn't want to admit that we were wrong. So how can the person at fault overcome the worry or their ego? One way is to remember a bit of Maxwell's laws of teamwork, the law of the price tag. In this law, Maxwell talks about needing to make sacrifices on a personal level that will benefit the team. So by putting aside your worries or ego, you can think about how admitting your mistakes can improve your personal development, while also showing your team that you are able to put the team's needs before your own. Now for the team, this can also apply as they need to remember that as the team's successes become greater, the price that each member must pay also increases, and because they need to remember to look at how the person at fault dealt with the mistake they made, and if that person put the value of the team above his or her own personal interest.
Establishing a set of values is one of the most important things a team can do in the norming stage. They can bring the team together and they define the group based upon them. People get to know your group by those values before they get to know the actual people on the team. These values range from empathy and compassion to professionalism and more. By establishing a set of values, it affects a team in various ways. Firstly, it sets a standard for the team to follow. This means that the team can take note of their current activities and how they're doing their work, and compare it to the ideals. It also acts as a foundation for the group to build future success and team member growth off of. So how does a group develop these values? There are effectively 3 steps: define them, live them, and communicate them. What this means is that a group needs to define the values that they hold to be the most important, such as professionalism. The group leader must then show these values in everything they do and provide an example for the team to follow in doing so. However, there are challenges that can emerge as a result of trying to develop these values. The biggest one is that a group member who holds different values could put up a lot of resistance towards the establishment of values that they do not hold. This, however, is important to deal with, because without a continuous growth of these values and the team, this can lead to complacency.
Strong values can help build the trust that is needed for an effective team. During the norming stage of team building, the team becomes more effective because trust has led to a cohesive and collaborative group. The team begins to feel strong and confident, almost if they have achieved their ultimate goal. But teams must be careful because they have not reached the finish line and there are problems that can arise. When teams are operating like a well-oiled machine and are successful in decision-making and comfortable with the group dynamic, they can forget one very important thing: progression. Without change and adversity pushing you to overcome obstacles and be creative about solutions, you can lose focus and sight of the overall goal. Essentially, the group becomes complacent. Once complacency sets in, the group will become unprepared for upcoming obstacles and conflicts. During the storming stage, the group understood there was going to be these obstacles and conflicts and was ready to tackle anything that would possibly arise. There was also motivation to overcome these speed bumps in order to get to the norming stage. Complacency does not have to be as worrisome as it sounds if a group knows the signs and is ready for it. The group just has to keep striving for progression of the project and the group. Having a leader or teammate that can help motivate the group, keep celebrating successes, and reminding the group of the long-term goal, it should help the group to break free from complacency and continue to move forward.
It has been said that when teams become too comfortable with a situation and how everything flows, they tend to lose track of how to progress. Having a strong leader is only one way to help keep the team on track and push toward progression. Using a scoreboard to track the team's progress can also help to combat the complacency that can begin to form in teams during the norming stage. A scoreboard provides the team a visual representation of their past, present, and desired progress. As Maxwell describes, a scoreboard is essential to evaluating. The principle he teaches is growth equals change. By being able to track your progress with the use of a scoreboard, it's much easier to properly assess the situation and make the appropriate decisions toward the change required to grow as a team. Making key adjustments is essential to winning. Scoreboards provide the necessary data to evaluate the situation. Once a situation is evaluated, decisions can be made. The decisions that need to be made are to work toward these key adjustments to move in the right direction. When teams do not properly utilize the scoreboard, they can miss out on these key adjustments that could keep them from becoming complacent. Teams can also use a scoreboard to determine where they stand with their staff. What I mean is it can be used to properly evaluate how well the staff is performing with its starter members and their bench members or support staff. Not only should teams be focusing on forming their star team, but they also need to worry about other members that can be called in if needed. Scoreboards help to form a solid group of bench members as well.
Having great support staff is essential to a successful team, so it is no wonder that the focus should be placed on the apprentice. Because they are vital to the efficacy of a project, bench players are often the stars of a team during the next project. As such, it is easy to see how this supporting member, becoming so familiar with the intricacies of everyday tasks and the inner workings of the project, often find themselves in a position to then multiply the success of the starter. Within any team, there will be a large quantity of supporting staff associated with just one member. This is mainly because it is impossible for one person to complete every task with the effectiveness and quality required to create something exemplary, but also because talents vary from person to person and need to be highlighted for the group to succeed. This allows the supporting individual to really display their own strengths, potentially making them more valuable than the starter if placed correctly. Another advantage is to the team as a whole. If the starter is somehow unable to complete their duties as required, it is less inhibiting when a supporting team member takes over the role. In this critical time, supporting members are often utilized to complete the task at hand. A good supporting team member will take over and complete the most basic requirements, while a great supporting team member will take over and create something extraordinary. It all depends on how they are groomed in times lacking crisis. In essence, the success of a team rests comfortably in how well each member is placed, how much they are encouraged, and which talents are applicable to the project at hand. If we are to progress, the team must be relying upon each other and maintain a certain amount of trust and loyalty. With these qualities, we will all be able to accomplish any goal set before our team.